Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of August 16th to the 22nd of 2021. Alright, so this week we have quite a bit going on astrologically. At the end of the week we do have a full moon, so we are approaching the heightened energy of the lunar month, and around the weekend we could be making some shifts and changes to further develop some of the energy we've been experiencing since early last week. Now around Wednesday, Mercury, the planet of our mind and communication, will be conjunct fiery Mars, so maybe some initiative there to be implemented with learning and or communication. Thursday, the sun will be opposite Jupiter. This will be part of the full moon as well. Maybe seeing potential starting to arise from earlier in the year, from 6 months ago when we first had this conjunction. Good to be open-minded. Maybe some potentials coming to manifestation. We do have Uranus going retrograde this week around Thursday. So slowly into next week, maybe starting to reflect on what really does excite us in life. How can we maybe start to innovate some things in a way that's different, unique, and give us that greater sense of freedom? In fact, Uranus will be in supportive aspect this later part around the weekend. That Mercury-Mars conjunction will be trining Uranus. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we could be noticing some of that maybe excitement, maybe some new ideas coming in, maybe some of that assertive side starting to flow where we're feeling more of that true self coming through. And then of course the full moon over the Sunday time period, which will be in Aquarius sidereally, and so good to do a status check with this Uranus kind of energy with Aquarius. What are our visions for the future? How can we access more of that progressive side, visionary side of ourselves to further develop this lunar cycle? All right, so let's take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for August 16th through the 22nd of 2021. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky, so you will notice a lot of the signs are different from mainstream astrology. For example, the full moon coming up on Sunday is in the constellation of Aquarius if you were to look up at the visible sky. So you will notice a lot of the signs are different from mainstream astrology. A lot of the transits are in different signs. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so quite an eventful week here astrologically, most of which is concentrated towards the middle to later part of the week. But let's go and break this down, starting first with the Monday, Tuesday time period. So on Monday, we do have the moon in deep Scorpio, and then on Tuesday in healing Ophiuchus. So these first couple days could be very good for diving deep in life just in general. This is going to be the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle. We maybe have started to feel since the weekend, where it is good to come to these first major challenges of the lunar cycle. Anything new that started a week prior to this, so early last week, we could be coming to those first challenges with. So it's always good to challenge ourselves with this first quarter phase. How can we implement things in a sense that does challenge ourselves, does require maybe some of that action and initiative. And one of the ways of doing that is with, again, diving deep. How can we bring deep things to the surface about ourselves? Very good for healing, psychology, all right, this kind of stuff. In our relationships, intimacy and trust. And in life, just in general, research, getting to the truth, again, excavating the deeper realms. And the reason this is the challenge is because a lot of the planets right now are in fiery Leo. So the larger context is around self-expression. That is where this whole lunar cycle started, and what this whole lunar month is about expressing ourselves, doing the things that we find fun, playful, creative, things that are close to our heart, right? And so it's great to do that, of course, still have some of that expressive, playful, creative energy, but in such a way that is, of course, really connecting to the truth of life. What is real, raw, authentic, candid, right? And getting into some of that Monday, Tuesday is a great way of challenging ourselves these first couple days. And then once we do get to the Wednesday time period, that's where we'll start to feel that Mercury conjoining fiery Mars. And this is, of course, going to be in Leo. So our minds and our communications are getting a dose of this fiery and initiating energy. So great for anything that does require putting in that mental energy into things, learning, studying, things like this. Again, there is that initiative we can really take with this. Anything you've wanted to do that maybe not only is about gaining information, but also sharing it. So it could be writing, for example. You could notice the motivation and drive for that. And then, of course, communications as well. So anything you've wanted to take initiative with, there is this nice support, this really new beginning to the year, we could say, of getting more into that fiery side with our communications, to be direct, assertive, independent with those interpersonal communication matters. All right, and so that's going to take us from this Wednesday into Thursday time period where a lot of these aspects do start. I do want to mention that we will be coming out of that deeper energy from the Monday, Tuesday time and starting to get into the free-spirited energies of Sagittarius. So Wednesday, Thursday, great to open our mind, open our perspective on life. This could be great for higher studies like spirituality, astrology, anything more abstract in nature, more right side of the brain. And then sometimes quite literally getting into our adventurous side. So expanding not only our mental horizons, but also literal ones as well. A little bit of that adventurousness, free-spiritedness could really go a long ways. And I am seeing a lot of confirmation of that because the sun will start to oppose up to Jupiter. And Jupiter is that Sagittarius energy. It is the planet that rules Sagittarius. And so there is a lot of that coming in. And with the sun, this is marking the halfway point of this Jupiter cycle, which means that 6 months ago, there may have been some new things that came into our perception that we've maybe been open-minded about or wanted to expand, right? Or maybe even opportunities that we've seen as a potential. Now, of course, Jupiter is still retrograde at the moment, so we are still reflecting on some of these things, and it is good to be rethinking and redoing some of the things we do want to expand upon this year. But nonetheless, this could mean a harvest or at least a halfway point, a status check, if you will, for how is that perception? How is our belief systems? Are we open-minded? Are we willing to expand our mental and literal horizons? And there'll probably be some shifts and adjustments there, but some things could be, again, a nice shift in the right direction, moving forward for some opportunities, for some things we've been open-minded about, or just simply expanding our perception about life in general. All right, and then Uranus will start to go retrograde around this time period, Thursday into Friday. Now, of course, since Uranus is a very slow-moving planet, it does take a lot of time for this energy to work its way through. But for roughly the next 6 months, which is cyclical, it happens every year, it is good to maybe start to reflect on what it is that excites us in life. Uranus is all about that visionary side. What is it that our true self really wants, right? Listening to that excitement. Now, the retrograde does tend to internalize that more. So it is good to start to reflect on these things, right? And reflect on that visionary side as well. Uranus is very much about the future and even collective matters as well. So future matters, collective matters, good to start to kind of reflect upon, rethink, and possibly even redo. But Uranus, after that retrograde, starts to form trines, and it's going to be a trine up to that Mercury and Mars conjunction. So first we'll be with Mercury, and this will be on the Friday time period, where our minds and those communications do get a dose of that sort of excitement and even eccentric and visionary sort of energy of Uranus. So very supportive time for thinking outside the box. We may come up with some new ideas, again, seeing things in a different light. There could be some things that we're learning that are quite exciting, different, or new. And of course, in those communications, maybe some new experiences there can also be quite exciting and visionary as well with that trine. So quite supportive energy with Uranus. I'll talk about the Saturday and Sunday will be the Mars trine up to Uranus. So that fiery nature that is starting to come in about midweek, we're probably just noticing we're much more comfortable with that. We're probably more willing to be our true self, right? And to listen to that excitement, take action towards that and initiate things, right? So there is this certainly more, could be confidence, assertiveness, but it's really coming from, again, that excitement and even connecting to more of that eccentric, unique, and different, that individual self-expression, right, that can be quite strong with this. And any actions you do want to take that are different outside your comfort zone, again, very supportive later part of the week to do just that. Now, around this weekend time period, though, around Friday and Saturday, the moon will be in grounded Capricorn. So there is going to be a little bit of this, just good to kind of be patient. Anything that does require time, basically. time and space with Capricorn. Patience, persistence, perseverance, anything like that could be very good to implement there around the Friday and Saturday time period. But the main theme over the weekend is going to be as we approach Sunday, which is of course the full moon. And it is going to be in that progressive Aquarius, which is very much like that Uranus energy. So halfway point of the lunar cycle, 2 weeks prior to this full moon was the new beginning. It was, of course, all about Leo, which is self-expression, right? Doing the things we love, spending time with the things and people we love with Leo. But now Aquarius balances all that out. And Aquarius is saying that it is good to do what we love and to really have that sort of gratification there. What is it that we're really passionate about is usually things that are greater than ourselves. Aquarius is the water bearer. It's the person pouring water into the stream for all to drink. And so it is that more contributing side. And it very much rules collective matters, whether it's small things like friends or groups or the world at large. So getting into that again, future-minded, visionary side of ourselves, and accessing more of that unique self, because we all do have a unique role to play in the greater collective and even in our smaller groups. And so it's about accessing that to help induce some change, right? To help induce some change for the future. This could be the collective future or our own future aspirations. But again, that forward-thinking, visionary side is very much emphasized this later part of the week. And just all in all, great to do a status check with that, particularly around Sunday as we go into next week. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. So most important thing is, of course, just furthering to develop this Leo energy of self-expression in this lunar cycle, challenging ourselves these first couple days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, to get into the deeper side of that, real, raw, authentic, candid types of expression and doing what really matters most, in life at the end of the day. Maybe doing some healing to some of that self-expression as well. We do have a lot of fiery energy with Mars aspects, likely with our minds and communications, with that conjunction with Mercury. And then the later part, just a lot of support for some of that more visionary side with Uranus and approaching that full moon, as we do reflect on a little bit of that, of course, with the retrograde and being open-minded. Even the full moon will be opposite Jupiter, so there could be some things shifting with what's possible for the year, some things that maybe are expanding our perception and maybe even do deal with the abstract stuff. Very good to develop this second half, even into next week, with that opposition to Jupiter. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely subscribe down below. And there's also a newsletter down in the pinned comment to get these videos released first. It's for the MTZ Insiders newsletter, and the newsletter does get released a few days before the week. So if you want an update on that sooner, definitely sign up. It's absolutely free, and you just put in your email there. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.